And you know you're listening to It Came From the Radio. If you don't, well, you do now. This is Jennifer Lee Feldman. I'm here with a very interesting guy, Dave Letterfly Knoderer. Let's see if I can even say his name. So who is he? Well, I'm going to tell you who he is, and then we'll get to the interview. The career path of Dave Letterfly Knoderer has been as diverse as the many creative offerings produced during 4 decades to an ever-increasing list of satisfied clients. Starting as an apprentice to the sign and design trade as a teenager, his appetite for the unusual and challenging led him to many sensational projects. A skilled painter, he designs large wall graphics and theater sets, themed interior and exterior murals in amusement parks and restaurants, crafted delicate gold leaf window treatments, and gilded ornamental on antique fire engines. When the computer took over the sign game, he established himself in the RV industry as the most prolific airbrush mural artist in the country, producing over 2,000 high-quality painted works on the exteriors of motorhomes that led to other even more spectacular projects, including the decoration of retail environments, residential murals, and delicate vehicular and motorcycle pinstriping, portraits, imagery, and custom paint of all kinds. I don't know anyone who does what you do. Welcome to It Came From the Radio, Dave. Oh,
Well,
wow.
thank you for having me here today.
Thank you. Thank you. Quick question. Do you enjoy all the work that you do? Because you're doing a lot.
I certainly do. I'm a very,
Yeah.
very creative person, and apparently, creative people are just creative in all areas. And I'm the
Yeah.
kind of guy I wake up in the morning and I'm on and I'm
Oh,
ready.
wow.
I just stay on all the time. So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I had a feeling you were going to say that. I mean, that would really suck if you didn't like doing this because I went to American University. It was like my easy school. So my minor was art. So I spent a lot of time painting, studio art, painting and drawing. And when you don't want to paint, I mean, drawing is one thing. You can pick it up, you can put it down, you can go masturbate, do whatever you want, come back to it, whatever. I'm just saying. But when it comes to painting, it's a big commitment. It's a whole setup, sometimes like an hour setup, and then you got to put it down. And when you don't want to do it, which I didn't want to do my final project for studio art, that's a whole nother story. Uh, I did my whole entire final project in 24 hours. So, and I did not want to do it, and it sucks painting when you don't want to paint. So, first question is when you have to paint something because you got all these clients all over the country, you're traveling all over the place, and you got to paint something. Is there any times that you didn't want to do it, and like, how did you deal with that?
Oh, you learn early on that the mood that you're in's got nothing to do with whether you're going to be painting or not. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of a luxury of maybe a different kind of a person, but yeah, a dedicated
Mhm.
person who's intensely creative. It's like I've got enthusiasm. When
Yes.
somebody says, "Hey, would you paint Saint Francis of Assisi preaching to the birds on the back of my motorhome?" I'd go, "Yeah, that'd be fun." Where 8 out of 10 other artists would go, "No, no, I couldn't possibly do something like that." So
Hmm.
yeah, it's just a challenge. It's another challenge. And what I've done with my entire lifetime is transformed challenges into opportunities.
Love that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. One thing I do, just quick aside, and it's something that I talked about and I'm thinking about a lot the last month, is, a lot of times people in your industry and mine, they'll give you offers. You'll get offers all the time. And sometimes the offers are great, acting in a movie or doing special effects or, using my house's location, who is it, the amount of money, whatever. And the offers are good. It's good. It's great. Let's do it. But I'd say at least 50% of the time, if not more, because now we have social media and everyone and their mother contacts you, you're going to get crazy offers. And what I've done is if the offer is not good, then I will find a way to make it good. Or I'll do like some type of counter offer, and maybe I'll even ignore the original offer. I'll say, well, maybe not this, but how about this? So do you ever do any of that where you have to change things around and someone's asking you to do something that you don't really want to do, but you're like, how about I do this instead?
Well, typically what happens is people will come to me with either a clear idea about what it is that they want me to do,
Hmm.
or they don't have a clear idea about what they want me to do, but they want me to do something. And then there are others that come to me and they have a bad idea about what they want me to do. And I
Right.
discovered it's my responsibility to guide them over to something that's going to end up qualifying as a good thing to do, because after all, my name goes on it.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
so
Yeah,
yeah, I've
you got to
already
guide.
whole bunch of different kinds of transactions like that. So yeah, definitely.
Have you ever had anyone that was a control freak and they were holding on to this horrible idea and you had to really maneuver that one?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I've dealt with every kind of personality that there is. So
I'm sure.
definitely, yeah. And so there are a lot. It's just like with there's a saying. Some people appreciate uh, presence, and other people appreciate when when you go away. It's the same thing with all the different kinds of customers, the variety of people there are in the world. So yeah,
Hmm.
and in my line of work, it requires me processing a never ending stream of new customers. So yeah, I've
Yes.
had plenty of opportunity to, and that's kind of interesting. That typically the artistic personality wants to be reclusive and withdrawn, and I've transformed that tendency into becoming a people person, where part of the
Got to.
one of the most gratifying parts of the job is the amount of satisfaction, and like my customers get very, very happy with what it is that I do. And that provides fuel for me
Hmm.
to continue and especially strive to do an even better job this time than I did last time. It's just because of the level of happiness I'm able to pro- pro- promote in my customer.
Right. So now, when you're working with new people all the time, as I do, and you're working on new projects all the time, and you're creating things that maybe never existed, you're inventing things essentially, you have to, I think, you have to have the thought in your head, I can do this, this is going to happen, it's going to be worth my time, before you make that investment into actually doing it. So, how did you originally have that self-belief and confidence in yourself that you'd be able to do even your first project?
Well, I think that it started with even as a child, I was unstoppable. I grew up on a
Hmm.
university campus, and the other sorority houses and the fraternity houses for homecoming every year, they would build a big display in their front yard. So as a 6-year old, I commandeered a large cardboard box, and I took some crayons and I made my own display in our front yard. And
So
then for
cool.
every year, I would build an even more elaborate display. So by the time I was 10 years old, I had an electric motor, and the darn thing was animated. And I had a
Wow.
theme, and it was all. So I've always been creative and unstoppable. And then I became a drummer in high school, and I got the brilliant idea that I should be playing the drums in the circus band, accenting the efforts of the performers and stuff. So at 16 years old, I spent the summer on the circus, and it just kept, it's like dominoes falling down my whole
Hmm.
career. They're just yet another incredible thing to apply myself to. Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's how my life has been. And I remember my mom at a younger age when I didn't exactly know what to do professionally. I always was active, like you, creating something Always. I had sales, I had businesses, I had jewelry companies, magnet companies, all this stuff. But professionally, to make money, I didn't really know what to do. I remember one of my mom's piece of advice was just do something, everything leads to something else. And just like you said, dominoes falling. You know, I had to pee and I went into a gym and watched in sports clubs, and I was not a trainer. I was training my boyfriend at Merrill Lynch, and a woman asked me to train her. But I went to pee and I ended up becoming a trainer. I ended up teaching the main morning classes for 2.5 years, and becoming a certified trainer and going on Fox News and a couple months later and all this stuff. So you just, sometimes just one thing leads to the next. If you're open, you're involved. And I guess if you have somewhat of a good attitude and people don't hate you, that happens. You
Definitely.
seem like a very
Yeah.
likable guy.
Yeah.
Now,
Yep. That's
as
exactly
as far
what
as
happens. Yeah.
as far as a likability, do you think that some of your success in being constantly employed has to do with people liking you or just liking your work?
Yeah. I think it's a combination because
Hmm.
certainly the personality is what allows them to consider that, hey, this might be a guy that I'd like to have create something. And definitely. So yeah, likability, being a people person. And what's interesting was, as a child, I wasn't that interested in other people. Because
Hmm.
of this line of work, it was necessary for me to become a people person. And today I've transformed. I've done a 180 from when I was a kid, and I am genuinely interested in other people today.
Yeah, it seems like
Uh-huh.
that. Um, to get a little more into that, are there parts of your persona, your personality, the way of life that you had before you're working with all of these different people as an entrepreneur that you had to put aside in order to work with the public as a businessman?
Well, there are times. Well, what I've had to do is,
Too.
yes, my personality and my embracing the the personal aspect of the customer relation has just transformed me, because when I was a child I was a little bit reluctant, but then because of the line of work and having to process so many uh, customers, I've actually done a 180 and I've transformed from somebody who's reluctant into somebody who's genuinely interested in other people. And the way that I treat this, I guess, this responsibility I have with the talent that I've been blessed with is
Hmm.
finding ways to be a blessing to other people.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. My dad said something along the lines of, every room you walk into or everyone that you meet, they should feel thankful that they got to meet you.
Uh-huh.
And that's kind of how you should live your life. So I try to walk into every room and at least try to make something better, even if it's picking off
Yes.
a piece of lint off the floor. Just do something, because, we're all humans and we're breathing and we're flushing toilets and we're using water. So we're all creating waste and pollution, no matter how good of a person you are. So therefore,
Yeah.
I feel like to counteract it, the bare minimum is trying to contribute something to this
Yeah.
society.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So now your work, what's one of the most interesting pieces of work that you've done to you?
One of the most, well, horses are my absolute favorite thing of all to paint.
Wow,
I
okay.
love horses. Well, I've had horses for 30 years, so I just love horses. So and there's actually a painting in my home. I had this idea of a yin yang type of a design with a winged horse and a seahorse.
Oh,
So
a
I've
windhorse.
it's something that I uh, started several years ago. It took several years to, and if you want to see it, I can show it to you. I think.
Sure. Let's see.
I
Let's
think I
see.
can show it to you if I walk over here with the laptop. And can you see it maybe?
A little bit. Yeah, a
A
little
little
bit.
bit.
You could even send a picture. We could put it at the bottom of the interview. Yeah, you know what? Send me a picture of that. I'll put that at the
All
bottom of the
right.
interview. I'll link that.
Okay.
That's cool. It's
But
really pretty. I like that.
that was kind of a way cool thing to do. I was inspired, and
Mhm.
sometimes I get an inspiration and it just doesn't go away, so I know
Oh
I have
yeah.
to act on it. And so
Yes.
that's how that painting got done. It got started. I got about three-quarters of the way through, and then leaned it up somewhere and forgot about it for a couple years. And then somebody gave me that beautiful frame, and then that prompted me to get it done so that I
Yeah.
could put it in the frame. So, yep. And the next thing you know, it's done. It's hanging on the wall.
That's cool. Now you're a bit of a character. You're interesting. You know, I like sketch comedy. I could see you being some character, or maybe I would draw on you for some of my personas. You ever do self-portraits or any acting
Have some acting.
or self-portraits of yourself? Anything featuring yourself in your work?
Oh, well, memoirs. I've been writing.
Yes.
I'm an author.
Three.
I'm an author. I'm also an
Yes, you have
author.
three
I got
memoirs,
three
right?
memoirs written. I'm working on three more, and
Yeah, let's hear about that.
I've become quite a storyteller. Well, uh, I've actually had quite an interesting life.
Hmm.
And it started around the circus, and then I became fascinated with not only horses, but especially sign painting. And then I've had to evolve as the years. It seems like every decade I had to evolve into something else. And
Hmm.
it's all been super interesting, and I have a passion for, all of those things, I guess, that are disappearing, the crafts type,
Hmm.
uh, and then the classic horsemanship, and a lot of things that have been a big part of uh, civilization and mankind and all that kind of stuff. And
Hmm.
so I just have a passion. And so now I'm taking all of that interesting information that I've accumulated during my whole life, plus uh, the I guess you'd say the scene, the way that I accumulated that, and I'm putting it into the form of stories with the underlying theme, because the end result of me going through all of this stuff was it made me a better person. And so now I'm writing books, and the motive is to make it so that the reader is inspired and they benefit from what the theme of each one of the books are.
Hmm.
But
Now, as someone who's oh, continue.
it's like that. The book I've written a book. It's called Kinker, Circusing the '70s, and it's about a 10-year period that started when I was a teenager, and it goes on to about a 10-year period, and it was pretty much all about my life with the circus, all that chaos and turbulence and excitement and adventure and all of the aspects of the circus back in the 1970s that are pretty much gone today. And
Hmm.
there's an underlying theme, because as a child I had this feeling like maybe I didn't quite belong anywhere. And then so this is like the underlying theme, and then the payoff at the conclusion of the book has to do with discovering that yes, indeed, I do belong. And not
Right.
only do I belong, but I belong in a big way. So,
That's
which
great.
is hopefully to inspire the reader too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a great feeling because, I'll be 42 soon, which I see as very young. My
Mhm.
view of 42 is like you might as well be 10 years old. But looking back, I was thinking about this earlier of my high school years. I was just like, my senior year, I was ready to give up. And I was just like,
Yeah.
a few times in my life, even in college, what are we doing here? Like, what's the
Uh-huh.
point? So now we know that a lot of college is BS and it's just a business plan. And my gut feeling was right. Like, what is this? Why do we need to spend $38,000 a year? No shade to American University, but like, sorry, what are we doing here? So it's
Uh-huh.
very easy to feel that way as a kid. So it is really important for readers, listeners, people to have examples like you and me and everyone to share how maybe their paths turned out in a way where you're like, oh, this is where I belong. This makes sense. This
Yeah.
isn't all a waste of time, you know?
Yep. And all of those things I went through were all designed for an even higher purpose
Hmm.
than yeah, than simply being like inconvenient or something that I didn't like. No, it was designed for my growth. My personal growth occurred as the result of going through all of those things. So then all of a sudden, we can become grateful for
Right.
everything we've gone through during our life.
I feel the same way, and that you actually set yourself up perfectly for my final question, which was going to be, do you believe in God or destiny or fate or things that are meant to be in two
Oh,
minutes or less?
yeah, definitely. It's really interesting. My daddy was a preacher.
Okay.
And I didn't want to have anything to do with the church when I was a kid because they were
Hmm.
all, I guess I was sensitive and I noticed things and stuff. So it wasn't
Hmm.
until I was introduced to a practical relationship with God through the Recovery Fellowship of AA, and
Hmm.
that's where I was introduced to. I guess I would be more of a metaphysical thinker than a religion type guy. I'm more of a I have a personal spiritual relationship with a higher power today
Hmm.
that is my uh, that has given me a design for living my life that I really enjoy today. So
Yeah,
yeah, hopefully that was a good answer to that question. But
love
do
it.
I? Of course, yeah, I sure do. And what has happened as the years have gone by, that relationship has become more and more important to me.
That's really cool. Are your memoirs able to be listened to, or do we have to read them? Do you have any books on tape?
Not yet, but that's one of my ambitions is to make all
Okay.
of my books into audiobooks. Yeah, and people tell me
Yeah.
I'm really good at it. Yeah,
Yeah, I think you should do it as your own voice.
that's exactly right. Yeah,
Yeah, you don't need someone else to narrate your story. Why don't you tell your own story?
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And it doesn't have to be perfect. You can pop your P's, or I don't know. I mean, obviously you want to have high quality recording,
yeah.
but I think just the way you're doing it right now informally is great. But who
Oh,
cares?
good.
I'm not.
Oh,
Anyway, we're
good.
at the end of the interview. Thank you very much. Good luck with everything. Much more to say, but we got to end it. So please tell listeners where to find you, website, anything else you want to say.
Oh, it's real easy to find me. You just go to letterfly.com. That's
Uh-huh.
Letterfly.com.
Great. Beautiful. Well, I'd love to have you back on, and good luck with all your travels, and watch out for the crazies on the road while you're traveling doing all this art.
Yeah,
And yeah, best of luck, and hope to speak to you, sometime again in 2026, 2027. And
good.
on
Well,
that note, mhm,
good. Well, thank you. I enjoyed
thank
it.
you. That very good. I don't like to torture the guests. I'm not a sadist. I'm not a sadist, and I always worry that I'm going to torture the guests. So I'm glad I didn't torture you. And on that note, we're going to go back to the studio with Mark Torres for more. It came from the radio.